cruise, LA de la Cruz. Turn on the JAFFOs, get my news. A7FL doing good how I knew. All pro, JAFFO, the all pro. Jump talk sports, they speak fast. You talk smack, you get sacked. Come tune in, sit in chat. Sport you like, they speak all that.
Hey yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the All Pro JAFFOs, bringing you the highly elevated sports talk for the highly elevated sports fan. I'm your host, the bad guy JP, alongside me, the prodigy, Mr. EJ Wizzle. We got another big show for you today. Week 4 of the A7FL is right around the corner, and I mean, we had to bring him back because uh he's probably one of the best guests that we've ever had when it comes to talking about the A7FL, ladies and gentlemen, from the Jaffo Army. You know him, you love him, you hear him every Sunday. Please welcome back to the show, A7FL Hall of Famer, Mr. Big Rob Fabien. How are you, sir?
Good, man. It's good to be back. It's finally connected. Finally made it happen, man. It's real
Listen,
good to be back.
but you got work. That's good. It's
Yeah,
completely
man.
understandable. At least you found a little bit of time, and we're appreciative of that.
No, I
Um,
promised you, man. I promised you. I had to get back on the job phones, man. I had to.
appreciate it, appreciate it. So, let's get right down to it. 3 weeks has come and gone. Going into week 4 now. Um, I'm starting to get a little bit of hatred on both sides for various reasons, but for you, seeing what you've seen, what are some thoughts on the season so far? Surprises, not surprises? Like what are things that you've seen so far in the league that that have gotten your attention really?
I mean, it's no surprise that, the two-time champs in Vegas are still doing two-time champ things. I really I don't even look over there unless somebody tells me the score is close because we're just waiting for, like, at the end right now, it just looks like the East is fighting it out to see who has to play them. And that's probably how it's going to be for a while until some team in Vegas decides to, up the ante and start getting people that can actually play football to compete with those guys at a high level. Like, man, they're Insomniac's on another level right now. Like, they're playing out of their mind. They're playing as consistent as they were 2 years ago. And it just doesn't seem like they're slowing down. I think last year was the slowest they looked, and they still won a championship. So as far as not surprised, there's no surprise in what the Insomniacs are doing whatsoever. Um, Maybe the biggest surprise is the how fast the East is shifting.
Mm.
Like,
Yep.
nothing in the East is. I just don't think you could have predicted how the East looks now a year ago, 2 years ago. A year
Right.
ago, a year ago, of course, there's a couple of us that were saying, yeah, the animals are animals. I mean, they're fun to watch, bro. Like, you can't watch an animals game and not feel excited and, hopeful and all that. DT is freaking amazing. KP is like a sneaky monster. IG Live, listen, what's his name? Mr. Gonzalez, he's the tight end. I still think he's secretly one of their biggest weapons on that team. And I didn't mention Kwame Morgan. I didn't mention anything about their deep. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that team looks complete. And for the example of why I think they're so good anyway, look at the way they dismantled the U. Like, they destroyed the U. They destroyed the U. But BIC had a game that was a little closer than, what I'm saying, than I thought the animals in the U was. I thought BIC in the U was a lot closer than it probably should have been because I don't think the U are, clicking on all cylinders. I think they're in it's the U's trying to find who they are again.
Mm.
And
That one kind of had to do a little bit. I mean, for me, how I look at it, it's yeah, the BIC. They kind of barely eking that one out, literally by a yard when it came to the first down. To decide whether or not the game was even going to keep going. But
right,
it's one of those things like those two teams. It, it's almost like it doesn't matter what's been going on games prior, they always play each other tough.
Yeah,
And
they
it's
do.
always a pretty close game,
But
between those two. So I'm not necessarily too surprised that it was close, but
my
there
my
were
issue
moments.
my issue with that game being close is more so aligned with, and again, BIC at the end of the day, BIC got the W. Like, this is not a knock on them, but it shows two things: that BIC is very resilient and against tough the competition in the East has gone up. So BIC is not going to get these easy games where they're blowing the doors off of teams that are 1, 2, and 3. You get what I'm saying? So cool. But then it's like 2 weeks out of the season already, and BIC's already been tested. Like, they've already got their jaws tested. Like, they won the first game of the year against the Renegades by one of the Renegades dropping the conversion.
Yep.
And then they won against the U. They won. It was like a clear win. It wasn't, that first down and all that. I mean, they won. They looked like they were ahead most of the game, but I'm used to seeing BIC get it done a little easier than that. While I'm watching the Animals do what I thought BIC would do. The Animals are beating people, and there's no doubt that they're beating them.
No.
Like, you start the game, sure, it's 6-0. You're like, okay, close game, contentious game. You turn around, it's 24-6 Animals, and you're just like, oh shoot, like, when did that happen? You know what I'm saying? And we're watching the game, but it's like, I haven't. I don't know who can be. I know who could beat the Animals, but I don't really know who can beat the Animals right now. Like, they look good. Like, they look really good.
Yeah, that team has. I mean, we saw sparks of it last year.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
that last, when DT came in with his last 4 games of the season, and there were signs of it. People kind of making fun. Oh, they got bounced twice in the playoffs. Well, yeah, they got bounced twice in the playoffs. To
Cool.
be honest, the way things were going, uh, there are reasons why they got that second chance.
Right. We
And
know.
so that there
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
whole, like, but the fact that they made the U and the BIC have to put up over 60 points, 50
That
plus
said a lot.
points, like
Said a lot.
that spoke something. And
Right.
you looked at that team going, if next year they can keep their pillar pieces together and build
Mm-hmm.
on what they've had, that's going to be a dangerous ass team. And
And here we are. Here we
lo and
are.
behold, the
Yeah.
defense is a lot better. Trey Baskerville's on the defense now. The offense really hasn't skipped a beat. If anything, they just added
Mm-mm.
more weapons.
Yeah, they
It
got a lot better.
it just, when they came in, I mean, we talked about it beginning of the season, going, when we looked at the schedule, going, there's a real good chance that at minimum maybe 1 or 2 losses, maybe,
With the
but
Animals.
yeah, so then
Yeah,
maybe,
right. And
because I
that's
still gave BIC the U benefit of the doubt, because you have
of
to,
course. Of
but
course. Yeah.
now as you look at it, it's like, oh fuck.
Can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that.
Yes.
Even the game. I mean, probably if I'm not gonna be candid here, right? Let's just be honest. The game I'm looking forward to the most on the East, it's 2 games, but one is gonna mean a little more than the other. I want to see Animals BIC. I don't know who doesn't want to see Animals BIC, because the Animals already won the King of Patterson game. They're the Kings of Patterson now. They're the Patterson team. Now you got them. We have to, who's really number one? And it's like, against BIC, who BIC might be slow to start. You can't be slow to start with the Animals. Listen, bro, you can ask anyone that's ever played in A7 history, from before it was A7. The one game on the schedule that you knew you would win, but you didn't really want to play that game because of how tough they played, was the Animals.
Mm.
There's tons of teams that we just ran through, or I play a quarter and be like, these guys suck. With the Animals, bro, I remember actually being down like 12-zip to the Animals, looking at my team like, damn, bro, we really got to play. Like, these guys aren't laying down. Like, we're better than them, but they don't give a like, they don't care. The Animals have never cared, ever. Never. And that nucleus has stayed from 10, 15 years ago. It's still there. And with that nucleus, they've added monsters to the team. On top of adding monsters to the team, their defensive coordinator, Ant Live, who again, there's a bias because that's my man. You know what I'm saying? That's my man. There's a bias, but I've sat down, I've watched film and broken down film with this man. We've looked at schemes. The way he runs an A7FL defense, in my opinion, is second to none.
Mm.
I do believe that most offenses are going to struggle with a defense that's led by Ant Live because his philosophy is simple. Everyone has a job and they just do it. And you don't have to overthink when he's running the deep. He did all the thinking already, so you don't have to. So he'll literally just he'll put you in a spot and tell you, hey, do this, hey, do that. You might not even know why you did it. But then you find yourself, especially at the defensive end position, for example, he'll say something like, hold the tight end up, count to three, and then go. You're like, what the hell is that? What does that mean? That sounds stupid. You do exactly what he said, and by the time you let go, you see yourself lined up for a sack. And hey, it's time for you to make a football play. You get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
he just puts you in a position the way he understands the team he's going against. He puts you in position to win. And if you guys have noticed, the Animals offense was doing the same thing last year that they did this year. Their defense just wasn't, their defense was allowing
That was
60
really what was
something.
missing.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, so for people that might say, oh, you're just saying it because that's your boy. Let's look at the Animals last year that were scoring these same points. David Tender was doing the same smile, same skip hop to the end zone, same stone passes. But all of a sudden now, the other team can't score 45. They can't score 60. They can't score 50. You need to score a ridiculous amount of points to beat these guys. And right now, even Insomniacs, who I know, again, defending champs, 2-time, my God, like, jeez, these guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Even they would have a hard time because David Tender is so explosive, but it's their offense that would be, diagnosed and decoded. So things that they think would work probably wouldn't work as well. You get what I'm saying? I want to see that game probably more than anything. I'm not going to make a championship prediction at all. At
Matt Sticks
all.
already did that for you. Don't worry about it. He
Yeah,
already
oh
called it
my
from week
God.
one. Animals,
Who?
Insomniacs is what he said.
Animals Insomniac. I'm not. Listen, I haven't lost faith in BIC whatsoever. I haven't. I could definitely say it's the Insomniacs on the West. Coming from the West, I haven't lost faith in BIC. Maybe if the Animals beat BIC, maybe I'll be swayed a little bit because they are coming in number one. The
But
momentum is insane.
playoffs are a different story. Playoffs are a
Playoffs are
different
very.
story.
BIC has been there. BIC, and that's what I'm saying. Like BIC doesn't. I don't think BIC's at home like, oh my God, regular season, oh my shit, we're gonna lose. They don't care. BIC doesn't care about regular season, bro. It's not that they don't care to the point that they're gonna go out there and lose every game. But bro, when it's playoff time, BIC is gonna be the BIC that we know. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's a scary team no matter how you slice it. Animals, we're still trying to figure out who they are, but they know who they are. You get what I'm saying? Like they know who the hell they are. We
I
still
mean,
trying to figure it out.
we talked to Manny, we've talked to DT,
Mhm.
offline and everything like that, having different conversations. There's definitely a swagger and a confidence to that
Definitely.
team. They again, they want all of the smoke
Hmm.
from anybody at any point in time. Yeah, they're not, at least from what I'm seeing, they're not ducking
They're not
anybody.
ducking. No, they're
Yeah,
not.
it's gotten to the point now where, I mean, I hear it every week from you and Matt, right? Like, is this a changing of the guard? Is this a changing of the
It
guard?
is.
Like, I think that answer, like,
No, it did. It
it's pretty
changed.
obvious at this point.
It changed. If I'm gonna base it off of the history that I know, because again, I'm very big on A7 history and how it played out. This happened already. BIC was this team
Mm,
before. BIC was the team in 2014. You did not think they would have made it to the chip. It's the usual suspects making it to the chip, but BIC ended up making it to that chip and going against a very seasoned, very well organized U team at the time, and BIC lost. If history repeats itself, Animals go to the chip and they lose to the Insomniacs. But Animals go to the chip again next year and win. You get what I'm
Mm.
saying? So that's how history plays. Because again, we haven't seen anything like this since 2014. BIC was beating teams they weren't supposed to beat, close games of teams they weren't supposed to have close games with, and then made it to the championship. You know what I'm saying? Like snuck in there. So, and I still think this Animals team is more dominant than that BIC 2014 team. And I was on that team. That's me. You know what I'm saying? That's me. That's saying a lot. I was on that team. So
That's personal experience talking at that point.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, and we went to the chip, but we had a chip on our shoulder. We had a swagger about us. There was like an energy there, and we felt it every week, every day we felt it. So the Animals are riding now, and I mean, sky's the limit for them, honestly. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, and I mean, we've kind of been, yeah, again, we've been watching the league for, going on 5 years and everything now. So what we've
Yeah.
been seeing, I mean, we've been trying to call it as we see it, and
Okay.
we talk about it. Some get mad, some understand, some we're all about prove it.
You know how this
I
goes,
I
man.
know you're the same way. It's
Yeah.
prove it or
I
keep
said,
it
shut the
shut.
fuck up. Yeah. You
You
know what I'm saying?
just don't you can't
Yeah.
say anything unless you prove it. Like there's a
Right.
whole lot of what ifs. We've got potential, we've got all this, we've got all that.
All
But
that.
at the end of the day, if you're not putting up the W, it doesn't matter. None of
Right.
that talk matters. So now we're looking at a point where you've got four, shit, maybe even five teams on the East. I mean, the inside, I still keep saying like, and either from what you've seen and stuff, I still think the Vegas division has a lot of growing to do, even though they have the two-time champions in that division.
It's just them.
It exactly as a
It's just
whole, it
them.
needs to
Right.
grow some more of that competitive balance because
And that's the critique,
I said
right?
this on last show.
Right.
Nobody in the East is worried about anybody in the division other than the Insomniacs.
That's a
Anybody.
fact. That's a
That
fact.
and again, people can get mad at it, and they have. The comments are there. We can go back and look at that clip.
I don't know
All the
what they
comments
meant.
are there.
You want them to get more mad? I will double down.
But
If you're not the insomniacs, you suck.
but this is what I said. I'm just like, look, you can't tell me after what happened, especially like I gave Sickwit the benefit of the doubt. I
Okay.
really did. Because they play the Insomniacs tough. Hell, they're the
Right.
Insomniacs only lost these
Right.
last 2 years.
Right.
But
Right.
what I saw this last weekend was you can't tell me the Sickwit in their current form right now
Can
would be
compete.
able to last with anybody again in the East.
No. No. I don't think so either.
Maybe a bottom tier team, but you can't tell me BIC, the U, the Watchmen, the Animals,
Look,
hell, even the
and,
Renegades looking at this point.
and listen up. Hear me out. Hear me out. Now, we haven't seen it yet. And because of that one loss to BIC, it's not as respected as it should. But and again, this is all about history. History is crazy because when BIC was on the come up in 2014, the other team on the come up right next to them was the Chiefs. And everybody ignored the Chiefs because BIC was those guys, and everybody ignored the Chiefs. I'm telling you, the Renegades are sneaky good, very, very good. We haven't seen them yet. And in their schedule, the way their schedule is set up, once they beat the Watchmen, is the only time people's eyes are going to be like, wait a second, whoa. Nobody cares that they got into a close game with BIC because they'll rationalize it by saying, oh, maybe BIC didn't have all their players, which they did. Anything they could say to make it seem like that was a fluke. It happens. Things happen.
No.
But when the Renegades beat the Watchmen, and if somehow, some way, I might not even be supposed to be saying this, but if somehow, some way, the Animals and the Renegades get that matchup, I do think the Renegades might be the only team that can knock the Animals off the high that they're on. And I know it's very left field because that's the team we're not talking about. But the Renegades, bro, they're big, they're fast,
Yeah.
they're strong, they're not a joke, like at all. So when you're saying sick with it, and I'm thinking about these teams and the criticism that the Insomniacs get is, hey, you skate through 6 weeks of like vacation, then you come here where the dog's already beat up. Everyone's beat up. Everybody in the East is beat up. Nobody in the East is like getting an easy ride.
Mhm.
Even the Heathens are impressive. You know what I'm saying? So it's like even the Heathens, a team that I didn't think I would even mention. Even the Crush are tough. So it's like there's no easy rides on this side. And guess what? Easy ride or not, the Insomniacs came to Jersey and did it. They brung Florida and did it to them. So they're gonna always get that respect from me, champ to champ. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get that respect from me. But they do have an easy ride to get there. They're waiting there already. Whether it's Bullhead or in the middle of America, or it probably won't be in Jersey again, I'll tell you that. But they have the Insomniacs are waiting. And it's unfortunate they're sick with it. And I don't even know the other teams, Gold and who. I don't know them. You know why I don't know them? Because I don't care about losers. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't know who's there. I don't care who's there. I'm not talking about bottom tier teams and what they can do to get better. I don't care. You suck. You suck. They have to pay me to talk about your games. I'm not talking about no boring ass bottom tier Vegas team. I barely want to talk about sick with it. If it's not Insomniacs, what are we talking about?
I mean, the thing that I've, at least for the Vegas division, as much shit as I give them, because again, it's not coming from a bad place. It's
No, you want them
coming
to get
from a
better.
place of I want to see the division get better so that there is no more conversation of easy ride, all of
Right,
that,
right,
because
right,
the league as a whole is tough from top to bottom, from coast to
right,
coast.
right.
But when you have, I mean, and I've given each team their flowers of they are, at least visually from what I'm seeing, they are getting better in certain aspects. The division is slowly kind of creeping up, but the Insomniacs are so far ahead.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's still gonna
It's bad.
take it's still gonna take maybe a year or two for the teams to competitively catch up. There
Somebody
is
has to be
a
upset.
lot of recruiting, a lot of, everything that's gonna have to happen for that division to get up
Someone
to
has to be
speed.
upset. Somebody has to get tired of getting their ass whooped. It's as simple as that. It's as
At
simple
some
as that
point.
because the conversation is going to be exactly what you just said, bro. It's only Insomniacs coming out the West dominating because they're just that dominant. There's nothing in the West that would make anything shake on the East Coast if it's not the Insomniacs. Like if Sick With It, Sick With It comes out here and does what? Does what?
Uh, I don't think against really anybody, at least again in the current form.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe last year and the year before when they were kind of competing with the Insomniacs, there may have been a conversation,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
this year in the current form,
There's no discussion.
especially after what I saw on Sunday, there's no
There's no
chance.
discussion. There's no
There
discussion.
is no chance.
And then you got to remember, like Sick With It and all those guys. Oh, we can go out there and beat BIC. Hey. Let me give y'all a little reality check. Insomniacs beat BIC with a magical, skilled, but magical return.
Yeah.
It wasn't, no, BIC didn't get outplayed and dominated, bro. It was one play.
Yep.
It was one clutch
Whoever
play,
had the
but it
ball
was
last was probably going to win that game.
it was one play.
That yeah.
And the Insomniacs didn't give BIC enough. BIC's offense just scored. The Insomniacs didn't give BIC. Did they? Okay, like I just had this discussion with Kenny Stansberry and live separately too. I know the BIC had the ball last in that championship game, but I need y'all to understand when you thought you had the game, whether it was a playoff game, championship game, when you thought you had the game in the bag and something like that happens, you the shock messes you up,
Yeah. Yep.
especially in a big game where you know how much is on the line. Like the shock messes you up. Then you start think as a player now, as a player in this high octane situation, you're like, yo, damn, what could I have done better to not put us here? Like, you start thinking about that shit. And if you get slipped out of that, now you have a minute and 8 seconds to get the ball down the field 90 yards. With a team that has momentum and all this is going on, now you overthinking the play. Now you overthinking a blocking assignment. Now such and such is not here. He's hurt. And it's like, damn, it's a heavy space to be in.
That type
So
of momentum swing is
Yo,
really tough.
Bro,
Really
it's
tough.
literally, and again, I love comparing football to boxing. It's literally like getting knocked out and getting up on nine, and then having to you got up on nine from pure willpower, but you're gone. Like you're just like, bro, where am I? What is happening? And how did this happen? That's really it. Like, and I've been on my fair share of those moments, like when my team was given those moments and when my team was receiving those moments. Like, it if you haven't been there, it's hard for me to listen to you talk about it. So the judgment from anyone that's saying, "Oh, BIC," Insomniacs earned both championships, but both championships were last minute, last second, end of the game, hero clutch plays for both championships.
Yep.
It wasn't no, oh, they were dominant all game and they just proved they were better. Which means to me, if these guys play 3 times, how does that split? If they play 4 times, is it 50-50? Is it 10 times? Is it 5-5? We don't know. So when Sick Wit and all these other teams think, oh, well, the Insomniacs had to really play, bro. They had to really pull every trick out of the bag.
Yeah.
They were losing most of the game, both championships. Let's, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, both games had, and again, I've had pushback from it before, but the reality is this: you've named it, the Boonak blessing
Yes,
against the
listen,
Florida team, who, let's
come on.
remember, had 8 guys on the sideline. 8
Come
guys.
on,
Now,
bro.
again, they're gonna come. It wasn't our fault that did. They're right. It's not their fault.
You're
But
100% right.
the fact that you had trouble with 8 guys says a little bit of something. You got the championship. Congratulations. We give you that. We're not
But
taking away
how
that.
good were these guys if they were at full again? And that doesn't take away from the fact that you won the chip. It doesn't sully the chip. It was one of the best championship games I've ever been to, and I've played in like 3 or 4. So it's like it doesn't sully it. It doesn't make it any less. It doesn't make y'all any less of a champ. You guys are 2-time champions. Wear that. The
Yeah.
criticism, the small criticisms of the game, that's just, and people who analyze the sport doing an analysis. That's it.
Yeah.
But these games were close.
Yeah. And then
Kudos to
this last
them,
one, same thing.
same thing. But all it tells me is the Insomniacs are way better than we think they are.
Yeah.
But it also tells me that y'all over there are way worse than I thought y'all were.
Well, I mean, I had also looked at it as and this is where I'm kind of giving the Insomniacs a little bit more, more credit in the fact that even if they're down, they still have that puncher's chance. They still keep fighting. They do not quit. They have the depth to be able to, sub in and out, do everything, and they have talent up and down the roster. Every
The whole
single one of
roster,
them is a coach, so they
the
have a
whole
mindset,
roster. Yeah, they're
to be able
they're
to
a
make
tough team.
adjustments, to do everything that they need to do. They have that ability. That's why
Yeah, I
they
still
are
don't
such a
think.
tough team.
Yeah, I still don't think with. I'm just gonna say it. I think it's gonna be very hard for any team to beat the Insomniacs. I'm
Oh,
just gonna
of
be honest.
course.
Like
Of course.
the chances of them going 3 time is scary.
I mean, it's scary, but it's a reality.
It's reality. Like,
And that's another, and that's kind of one of those things as well, that I get so upset with how things are going in the division as a whole,
mm,
because we've seen divisions that only have one team dominating that are no longer here
right,
because of that, or that was an aspect of it.
right, right.
Ohio gone, Florida gone. I would hate to have 2-time, 3-time champion, all these memories, all these good moments,
And then
just to
it's
be
all
just that,
gone.
a
Yeah,
fucking memory. Oh,
right.
remember when Vegas had a division? Oh, those could not no more. And
Damn, the
again,
good old
most
days.
of the guys, Munchie even came on the show and said, even if the Vegas division were to fold, they wouldn't care. I'm sorry, in my head, that's not the way to look at it.
Right.
You
You don't want to look
want
at it
the
like
division,
that.
and now again, it has It is not their responsibility for them to disband, to make the competitive balance or whatever. It's up to the other teams to get better and to do everything for the division to get better. That's fine.
That's a
I
fact.
understand
That's a
that.
fact.
That's 100% correct. But the attitude of, even if it folds, we don't care because we're going to go off winning somewhere else. It's like, well, again, we're completely missing the point of what we're trying to do with the league, of how you're trying to grow the league. To be able to win it 2, 3 times and just up and disappear because nobody, wanted to play anymore, because at one point, getting your ass whooped, it's not fun. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't play here
Yeah, it's
anymore.
not. It's not. And
So
then but the thing is, what it tells me about that division in itself is, the guys that are getting their ass whooped, they're weak. If you get your ass whooped and quit, you're weak. Respectfully, I give you the example of the Animals and the Renegades. The East Coast punching bags for centuries at this point. What are they doing now? They're punching back.
yep.
It's like that's the resilience of what we have over this product over here. The resilience is insane. These teams see what's going on. They see where the talent is at. Bro, they did some recruiting. They went and got. So you telling me the Insomniacs have the market cornered for flag players? Like every good flag player is on the Insomniacs, or there's dudes that go against players from the Insomniacs that don't like them because they're always losing to them or very competitive. You don't think they would go play on the A17 to spite those guys that be beating them in the flag? You don't. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening on the
I
East.
mean, and according to the Insomniacs, even in flag, it's essentially the same team. They play with each other. The chemistry's there pretty much
There's
365.
And that would guarantee that there's 4 or 5 teams in flag right now that can't stand those boys, wouldn't play with those boys, and would compete at a high level on an A17. That's what the Renegades are. That's what the Animals are. That's what we're seeing. So why isn't that type of recruiting going on the West Coast to give the Insomniacs some type of competition? Insomniacs don't. They have three. They have what, 3 games to play before the championship, bro. Every other game is poop up.
Yeah.
Every other game, they're gonna be on the sideline eating chicken nuggets before halftime. Dudes is gonna start trying to play without cleats and, you know what I'm saying, getting their hair braided while they're, throwing a pass, because it just seems like there's nothing going on over there. While on the East Coast, it's like gladiators. These dudes are trying to kill each other. Like
Mhm.
it's rough out here. Even the Hawks look decent. They have spurts. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Something has to change over there. But if nothing changes, it's as you feared. That top heavy, the dominance of the Insomniacs. Because guess what? You win 3 championships in the A7FL. Everyone that's ever played in the A7FL, including me, has to shut up. There's nothing to say to them. The Insomniacs can legitimately walk off. If they win the third, they can walk off and never say a word to anyone. I've won 2 with one with an asterisk. So I have 3, but there's an asterisk next to one. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They would have 3 definite championships back to back. I don't think anyone's done that. Anyone. So if the Insomniacs decide to get up and walk away after this championship, I have nothing to say to the negative.
No.
Who's their comp, bro? Who's gonna stop them?
I
They
agree.
don't play. They don't play comp every week. They have to come down. They have to come wait for an East Coast team to give them comp, and then they beat them. So then what? What are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean,
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's a wild thing, and again, we get passionate about it because we want to see
yeah,
the league grow, we want to see everything. We care about it. We've been
facts.
covering as much as we've had, being able to have these conversations with you and with Matt and with everybody else who's been in this league for a long time, since its inception, essentially,
Yeah,
and like where it's at right now, it should be at a higher level.
I agree.
One thing or another happens, and it doesn't get, but I'm thinking this league is so entertaining, is so high octane, so like there's there's barely bad games to watch. I mean, the blowouts and stuff like that, nobody really pays
Yeah.
attention to much. But for the most part,
The
especially come
competitive games
playoff
remain
time,
competitive. Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
it's a hell of a product to watch. So
Yeah.
it's right now you've got the East, and I mean the animals are just being just that, the animals. They are
Right.
going absolutely after everybody's throat,
Right.
stepping on it, and
Hmm.
not relenting.
They're smiling
With
when they do it.
and you got David Tender on the sideline during the game trolling.
Going live. I
It's just,
regret missing that. I miss it when he does it. I can't wait to catch one. I can't wait.
but it's just this league right now, and I mean, you've seen some of the new teams, and I know we've had you a little bit longer than you need to, but real quick, from the new teams that you've seen, how is there? When you look at the Heathens, when you look at the Stealth, you look at all these other teams that are kind of new. When you look at them, is it like, ooh, the next few years we might be talking about them too?
Yeah, especially the Heathens. Especially the Heathens, who are probably my favorite new team. What's his young man? What's his name? Something Burrows, Captain America. What do we call him?
Captain America.
Ryan Burrows, the
Ryan
rugby man,
Ryan
international
Burrows.
superstar.
Listen, man, Ryan Burrows is probably one of the most fun. It's just fun to watch the guy. Like the style of run. I'm big on that. I like seeing my quarterbacks run. The fact that this guy, again, people could say what they want. You don't want to tackle him. You don't. I'm watching teams fake like, "Ugh." You don't want to tackle Burrows, bro. There's only a couple of dudes that can tackle a guy like that. And you saw it. You actually saw it in the Hawks game. Number 13 tackled him, wrapped the leg, and tackled him properly. That's how you tackle a guy like that.
Yeah,
If you
it
don't have
still
any
fell
form, and
over.
that's dangerous, and that's still dangerous.
Yeah.
So he still got bowled over, but he caught him. If you don't have proper form, if you don't come with the right step, bro, he's gonna run you smooth over with no hesitation because he
Those
he
rugby guys
plays
have no fear.
no fear. They fear no
I
one. They
was
don't.
wondering about that, going like, man, and especially with a guy like Ryan Burrows, we had him on the show, and he's talked about how much fun he's having, and I'm like, man,
Ooh,
if he can recruit more rugby
hey
guys,
now, hey, that's what listen to what I'm saying. That's what I think is coming secretly. I think if maybe let's say I'm not saying the Heathens don't work out, or even if that's what ends up happening, like yo, he's calling his he's an ex-pro, bro. He's not some corner, street corner kid that's playing rugby in his backyard. He's an ex-pro rugby player. He has pro rugby friends. Those pro rugby guys, especially those, man, I don't want no smoke with this league when the Hawaiian guys show up. Hey, listen, I don't want no smoke. When them Samoan guys show up, listen,
oh.
they start doing that haka in the middle. The next time they put the camera on me, it's gonna be face cam. I'm be going crazy because when those guys show up, those rugby guys, that's really how they run. Their mentality is football with no pads. That's the whole gimmick. It's gonna be a very tough time in this league for teams that can't tackle or can't do these things that you're taught at a young age and you ignore because you think you're cute. You feel me? It's not, there's no arm tackling a guy who runs through grown men for a living. That's not happening, bro. If Burrows starts making phone calls and it's the highlights. If he starts getting highlights and putting those highlights up against big teams where he's on national bro, I'm just happy I'm retired. You feel me? Listen,
I mean,
every day,
he's gonna have that opportunity. He's got
bro.
or I think what is it? They got I think they have a bye week this week that I'm looking at, but next week they got the Watchmen. So that's an
And
opportunity for him to really,
we're gonna
kind of
see a bunch of
showcase
grown
that's a
men.
revenge game for them.
And mark my words, we're gonna see a bunch of grown men do weird things, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, what's wrong with the Watchmen?" I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with them. They don't want to tackle that big white boy, man. I promise you that. They don't want to tackle the white boy. I promise you that. You remember when Steve Austin in the longest Burrows is gonna run one of them over. That's how a white man runs the football, boy. And guess what? You're just gonna have to eat it. You can't say nothing because he just got ran over. What you gonna say? Oh, that's racist. No, you suck at football. Don't take it a race. You just suck. You suck. Don't let him run you over. Listen, if Burrows does that, I hope he doesn't because it's not really good for TV. It's great for me. I think it's hilarious, but you're gonna watch a bunch of grown men duck wreck and avoid the tackle and all reach. You just see a bunch of this.
Yep.
Just I tried or trying to grab his legs and bro, it's gonna be difficult to deal with Burrows. It's too many fancy pants dudes that don't really want to hit.
Yeah. I mean, I think it partially that has to do with, and again, I'm not because with flag guys, there's still the high octane offense. There's still a lot of good things that have come out of that.
Nah,
But
say it, say it,
that's one thing
say
that
it.
when you're coming from flag is the adjustment because you're used to just throwing your arms out there and
Hey,
grabbing flag.
grabbing hips. Grabbing hips. That's what they like doing, grabbing hips and pulling on pants. You can't do that against Burrows, bro. And he's going to shift the league again. There's always a couple players that end up shifting the league. DT's one of them because DT, listen, you can't grab I'm bigger than you, I'm faster than you, I'm stronger than you. There's no flag here. You can't touch my waist and I'm down. I'm gonna destroy you. I'm gonna run through you. This is fun for me. The guy's smiling while he's running for touchdowns.
He's doing the gritty at the 5-yard line.
The 5 yard line. It's just, man, I love it, man. I love it. I love it.
This league
100%.
is growing and it's going places. And Big Rob, you're a good reason to be able to watch on Sunday nights. You and Matt
Thank you,
Ryan
man.
doing
Thank
your
you.
thing. Keep doing it, man, because it's always entertaining. Hopefully this year, depending on where it goes, if it's either in Arizona or in New
I'm
Jersey, wherever it
hoping.
is.
I don't have no inside information. I don't want nobody to think I'm spoiling nothing. I don't know where it's going to be, but I'm hoping. I remember hearing that it might be over there where you guys are at. So if it's over there, hey man, part two, man. Listen,
Yeah,
I'm here
it's
for
gonna
it.
be a
I'm
fun
here for
time.
it. I'm
It's
here
going to be
for
a
it.
fun time. Ladies and
And
gentlemen
tell,
of the Jaffo Army, Rob, you always know the door's open whenever you got
I
time to get,
appreciate you,
sir.
man.
By all
Appreciate you
means,
guys
join up, and we'll see you again soon.
for sure.
Be safe at work. We'll see you again and see you on prime time on Sunday, sir. Have a great one.
Sunday for sure. Thank you guys for having me,
Ladies and
man.
gentlemen of the Jaffo Army, A7FL Hall of Famer, Mr. Rob Fabien. Yes, sir. I mean, what can you say? I mean, Big Rob is Big Rob. He's always going to be, he's always going to say, what he sees. He's always going to say what's on his mind, and that's the type of dude. Especially when we got to hang out with him in Bullhead when the championship was there. It was fun. It was fun to watch, and he's every bit of the word like Big Rob. He's a big ass dude. Like, so it's just but he knows his shit. He's had the experience in the league, so he knows what he's looking at. He knows what he's watching for, and it's always good to be able to bring his expertise and his knowledge and everything like that. Mizzle, I know you're taking a break from work and everything, sir. How are you?
Pretty good. Just waiting for this shift to be over with. Home stretch.
Oh, and
Home stretch is always the longest, man. How do I tell you?
just don't look at the clock. That's all you got to do. Just don't look at the clock.
It's kind of hard to do that in the hospital where there's clocks everywhere.
That's also true. That's also true. Ladies and gentlemen, if you thought it was over, it's not. We still have other guests to be on this show, and we were just talking about it. The Virginia Heathens, how that's a new team that's coming up that people are kind of excited for, especially after hearing what Big Rob had to say. But we got another Virginia Heathen on the line. Ladies and gentlemen of the Jaffo Army, please welcome to the show, Mr. Jake Olson. How are you, sir?
Good, man. Appreciate you guys having me, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's obviously 4 weeks down. It's been a hectic couple of weeks. There's already been a lot of entertainment, a lot of things that have been happening. But you being a part of this new squad that everybody's looking at going, usually new squads are not bringing eyes to them the way that they are. but you guys are seeming to pick up, a lot. You've got, obviously, you got Captain America, you got Mean Dean, you got everybody there that's just coming together as a squad to where it's starting to look, the chemistry is building up. But before we get more into the team, like I ask everybody, what the hell uh, uh, came into your mind to play this crazy ass game that we call the A7FL?
I mean, this is natural to me, man. I mean, without the pads is a little new, but I was outside of football for a little bit. My daughter was just born. I think I saw it, Instagram, I think, stuff like that. And I think I followed it. And I'm like, that's cool, And didn't think much of it. I think I saw something about players or whatever, and I fill out that stuff. And I was like, I had boys overseas in Canada and stuff like that, And I wasn't playing because when I was in college, my daughter was born and stuff like that. So it was just something to keep an eye on. It was kind of a tough time in my life. Without football, it was weird being away from it. And I think I got like a random text, and I live in Virginia, obviously, but some of our guys live in Baltimore and stuff like that. But I'm not from this area. I was actually born in Vegas, believe it or not. But
Oh,
yep,
there you go.
yeah, I was born in Vegas, but I moved around a lot. But anyways, I got a text, and I was like, that's weird. And he asked me if I wanted to try out. This was the back when the Buzz. So a lot of the Heathen guys, we started with the Buzz and stuff like that. Shout out to CJ. He kind of got us all together and did this with his, with Pops, coaching, and CJ running the team. So Rastaman Flash, we people don't know, but we know, like, we got some guys, man. But basically, I just kind of tried out, and I was nervous because I hadn't put on cleats in couple years, man. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like praying before and nervous, man. I just went out there and just kind of I was working, dude, because I'm so aggressive coming off. And what I learned coming off the edge is basically you just got one move, because I'm so used to the, this and the, all the hand fighting off. And this, I love it, man. But I kind of have that chip, and I like to go fast and hit. I don't care about my body, dude. Like, that's just like, I'm not. I play defense, man. Some guys want to score touchdowns and look pretty. Like, I want to take your fucking head off. Like, I don't care. Like, linemen we're not fighting like that because we're fucking fighting every play. So it is what it is, and it's just and that's our whole team mentality, and that's why it's funny because I heard you guys talking about flag, and it's like, well, these rugby guys. No, we got some guys, man. Like, we've been at this since the summer of last year. So we've been chasing Ryan's big ass around for about a year now. So if you think we're fucking worried about XYZ, dude, like, try tackling him every Sunday for a year.
Watching this team, it's been fun. It's definitely entertaining, and like you said, especially practicing against them, playing against them, everything like that. It's just it's a different type of
And we were out there trying to kill each other, but that's just
yeah.
our mentality. Like, that's, and they'd be like, guys, like, you guys got to chill out this week, because Brian's lowering his shoulder. We're lowering our shoulder. You watch the film, hopefully we get some more stuff streamed and stuff like that. But we're all hitting each other on defense. Like, me, Jaquan, Nick, like, we're always hitting because we're flying to the like, we're hitting each other all the time because this is how we play. So it's just, we know it's new to everyone else, but we know. So it's like, shout out to everyone, but you know what I mean? I plead the fifth. Like, we'll see, man, because it's a lot of people they really don't know. And for us, we've been building this camaraderie in these guys for a while now. So with everybody, and I can't even name enough people, CJ, James, Dean, Jaquan, I met Nick at the Turkey Bowl, and like, he like broke my finger, and I'm like, I love this guy. And that's our other linebacker. You know what I mean? Like, I went home after because Ryan and Frazier, who's going to be joining too. He had an injury and stuff like that. Another rugby guy people don't know about, but we know him. Pro rugby guy with Ryan, stuff like that. And he has a Turkey Bowl, and we met some guys, and I met one dude, and that was Nick, and I was like, I love this guy. My girlfriend's like, what's wrong with you? Like, he broke your finger, and I'm like, no, he's a football guy. Like, he's, and so we brought him on, and we got, who else, man? Caesar, we got guys who've been in the A7 for a while. Marty was with the Buzz, like Momo, like, CJ really put together guys that just want to punch you in the mouth to play football. Like, that's all. We don't really care about nothing else.
I mean, it's kind of especially when when you're a new team. I mean, yeah, you've got players who have been in the league and have that veteran presence, but when it's a new team, it's always, the same kind of conversation happens. Oh, it's a new team. We'll see how long it,
We
it,
love
it
that
takes
shit.
them to catch up and everything. And
Yeah.
when you have a new team that shows up, just we're ready to punch everybody in the mouth to make you realize who we are. You're going to go home battered and bruised. It's not going to feel good the next morning. Win or lose, you're going to remember the name. So it's good. It's good for the league. It's good for the division. It's good for everybody else. It's that iron sharpens iron type of
Oh yeah.
competition. It gets everybody ready, especially playoff mode. When that comes around, it's definitely fun to watch as well. But you guys now, like I said, I'm looking at the schedule right now. It looks like you guys have a bye week this week,
Hmm.
and then you have
We have the Watchmen, and then we go
a
we go
revenge game
Cincinnati.
against the Watchmen, and then finishing out the season against a very tough Animals team. So it obviously this week resting up, getting the bodies right. But the next 2 weeks after that is definitely, a tough one. So what are some things that you guys have been talking about to, get yourself, prepared for that final run for the last 2 weeks?
It's just constant film, man. Like that's the thing. Like it's when I came into this, I came from an environment when I was in school, you had your position group and this and that. And when I came into it, it was a lot of stuff, I'll plead the fifth, but a lot of stuff where I was like, this is new, you know what I mean? And then I got in with CJ's mind and his dad, and with Pops, it was just like, we have personnel package. Like we're watching film. It's not just like going out there and just, kind of winging it. Like we have different schemes and offenses and stuff like that, and that's our mentality. Like we're gonna hit you. We're going. It's kind of like how Dan Campbell, when he got to Detroit, he's like, we're gonna bite you. Like we don't care, And we know a lot of these guys, and CJ's been at it, and some of the other guys have been in the league. I've been a little new, so I don't really know a ton of people. Like obviously, like I've seen David and stuff, and we had played him last year, but I didn't even play that game, and it was just like But I watched him. I've seen him in person. He's smooth, man. He's similar to Ryan and stuff like that. And then you got VIC, and you got guys over there, and you got guys in the Watchmen, and guys that we know and stuff like that. But it's just like it's a dogfight. You know what I mean? Like especially in the East. So it's like I'm just it's all love to everybody, but we're the new guys, so we're just gonna shut our mouths and kind of go to work, grab the lunch pail, because that's all it is.
Almost fly under the radar, but not really, because once you're on the radar again, it's gonna be a war. It's gonna be a dogfight, and
Yeah,
that's
I think Ryan
that
showed
that's
a
really
lot of
what
that.
that's really what you want to do, especially being a quote unquote new team, being able to leave that you know taste in another team's mouth, going, okay, we see them again. We're gonna need to be prepared. We're gonna need to be, we didn't think as much as we probably should have, especially it being a new team, because that's especially with veteran teams that have been around for a long time, and they, have a set thing, and they've been dominant for all this time. When new teams come around, it's almost like a mentality of, oh, this is kind of a tune-up game
Hmm.
for next week, and then it ends up being going from a tune-up game to a trap game, and
Yeah.
it's just it's one of those, you being prepared to run into a tank every single play for 60 minutes. It's fun to watch, because I look at your guys' team, and I definitely see bruisers. Definitely, there's not. I mean, and this is no disrespect, but there's not a whole lot of finesse. It's more bull in a china shop. We're
We're
coming
gonna
at
go
you.
down there. No, that's very, very honest. We're gonna fly into you. We don't really like, even when we went to New Jersey, it's like, because we've been practicing for months. You know what I mean? And even, and I'll name our other quarterback too. Like Butler's the man too. Like you haven't seen him yet. Like you know what I mean? Like he went in against the Buzz and went 2 for 2 for 2 touchdowns off his back foot, threw it to Dean, corner of the end zone. And and they're like, oh, who's this white boy who comes in too? And it's like, Ryan's obviously he's got his style and everyone's different, but it's like we got guys and we have that culture where it's just like next man up. We're gonna keep rotating, keep, like Marshawn Lynch over and over and over. And it's just like Yeah, man. I think we're gelling, we're newer, and that was really like, our first game versus the Watchmen. That was our first game. You know what I mean? We had been practicing, but you got the jitters and stuff like that. But then once we got that out, and we've been kind of going since. But even with like Ryan and stuff and being new, they're like, oh, he can't throw. I'm like, what do you, dude? Ryan can spin. No look. He's been doing those no look passes forever, bro.
That when he did that, I'm like, oh, he did it with the dad cap on too.
Oh, dude,
Like
he
that's
forgot he had
so
the hat on.
disrespectful.
He forgot he had it on, bro. He went
Yeah,
back in, he came on the sideline. He was like, I still got it. I was like, yeah, dude. But
it's just
he
like
does it all the time, man.
there's an entertainment factor to it. You look at it and it's just like, wow, this team's it's fun to watch. We don't know enough to be able to pinpoint like what the end result is going to be, but from what we do know, again, it's not going to be an easy path for anybody
Yeah.
to play against this team. And people are going to look at, oh, you're blowing smoke up. I'm not blowing smoke. Look,
No, I hear you. I'm listening.
we watch this league top to bottom, east to west, every single game, and from what we see, this is how we present it. When we see a team who goes reckless abandon, that's what we're going to call it as it is.
And
Now,
that's a
again,
small
whether
sample
it's
size,
win or
too.
lose, the fact is still the same. You're going to be hurting tomorrow morning. So, sometimes we look, or at least I've looked at it. Go, y'all chill. Everybody's got a 9 to 5 tomorrow. Relax. Like,
Yeah, we're just reckless.
So I mean, again, it's a fun team to watch. What you guys have put together has been, entertaining. It's been fun. You guys have definitely, hopefully more screen. Last week didn't get a chance to have you on the streams, which in a way for me I was a little disappointed with that because
It's
I
a
was like,
show,
man,
man. It's a
like
show,
that.
man.
I was like, God damn it, that's a team. It's you get excited for certain teams. You look at certain teams and you go like, ah, man, I want to see how this goes, regardless of the result. I want to see how this goes, because I know that this is going to be a good time because you guys have a lot of personalities
Oh, yeah.
on the team that it just meshes well. It fits together. So you guys have definitely built something that's fun and thinking for future wise, you know, we just talked to Big Rob about it, especially, with Ryan being a rugby guy, it could get to the point where he starts bringing more of those rugby guys in, and that's even more of a problem because nobody's going to want to tackle those guys
Hey, look,
because
man,
they come into
rugby or
leagues
not,
like this with
yeah, man,
foaming at the mouth.
it's not even like just the rugby too, because I don't know a ton, so like that's the kind of thing I don't speak. I mean, you've been obviously doing this and covering it longer, and this is kind of relatively new for me too. And I respect everyone and stuff like that. But it's like what I've seen or heard is like a lot of flag guys and stuff like that, or guys who play a lot of flag football and that kind of run and shoot style of.
Yeah.
Of football, because it's like 7-on-7, similar to arena style, but there's nobody once was like, why don't we just run it down their throat? Like, no one, it's like, why don't we just run, like the wing T, like it is like no one thinks about it, but it's not just that too, it's just that mentality, because it's like Jaquan's a hitter. Like, it's like we like to hit, we like to play that, and then and we're all like, oh, let's all go play rugby with Ryan in the off season. Like, then that's our mentality. We're already like making group chats, and then we're all meeting those guys too, and that's why it's like, okay, like it's just the beginning,
Yeah, that's gonna be that if that's what you guys like, the rugby training. Like, I've seen the rugby training. I've played with guys who have been in rugby. Just hearing from it, watching it. I've been advocating for it so we can try and cover it a little bit more.
entertaining.
On this show, but it's definitely a sport that it looks Neanderthalish to the outside viewer, but it's such a beautiful game to watch when
Oh
it's
yeah.
done correctly. And the training is tough. It's because you have to train your body to, just like, in football, you be in a car crash, but there's no, oh, you're down we get to have a break for 25 seconds
It's
before the
different with
next one.
pads too. Yeah,
And
even I'm adjusting to not
but
like
but the
it's
but
the
the
rugby guys are
tackling
different. Oh
aspect of
yeah.
it is why I thought that would be it'd be such an easy transition to come from rugby to the A7 because of the fact that the form tackling, everything that it's just it's there.
Hmm.
So I was actually surprised at first when I'm like, damn, how come more rugby guys aren't doing this? And then as we go on, oh hey, rugby guys are starting to show up. Now this is gonna be fun because now we're gonna see guys. And again, I've said with the flag guys, they're gonna need to adjust too because when you play flag for the majority of the year, your instant reaction to going at somebody is arm tackling,
Hmm.
arms first, and you're not arm tackling a rugby guy. You're just not going to do it. It's never going to go in your favor. It's always going to suck, and you're probably going to get ran over about 95% of the time. Because again, you need to be able to wrap up. You need to be
Yeah,
able to actually make a form
we're
tackle.
both
So
going down
doing
like we're
rugby,
pretty.
especially for defensive guys, man, if you keep doing that off-season training, because I promise you guys, it's gonna pay dividends, especially in this league. Um, as you know, the season progresses, you guys have obviously talked to each other. You guys are obviously, either watching film, getting a practice in it, or just getting in the mindset of what we need to do this week. But has there been any like future talks of what we see here? We need to be able to keep this together and keep growing this as the years go on, not just the season, but the years.
Oh, I mean, the guys are already like this is very tight knit. Like we're already extremely tight knit. I mean, this is very like close than most teams I play. You know what I mean? Like the amount of like we talk basically every day. The group chat would like send us to prison. Like like it's like Ryan's hilarious. Like I mean, we know when to be serious and when to, but it's just like that camaraderie and seeing guys get out of that. Like we got a lot of former military and a lot of former college guys, so it's fucking we're degenerates. Like we're heathens, dude. Like that. Like it's like the fucking
The
group
name
chat is just
fits.
yeah, the name fits, dude. Like that's just it's to the T of like what it is, and it's a group of guys. Like that's why I'm always like shout out to CJ, man, because he just got he just got a bunch of fucking insane people together and was like, all right, let's do it. And now we're here. So it's like we're I mean everything's week by week, game by game, but we go into the mentality. But like we ain't going anywhere. None of us are going anywhere. We're tight knit of like. Nah, we got our group. You know what I mean? Like we're going to war with these guys. I mean, we're gonna have our pieces and things like that. But it's like every single guy, like we're riding with everybody. Like there's not like because it's sometimes with teams there's no that like oh this attitude. Like no, it's just like everybody's going to war. We got everyone like we have everybody's back. It's just a very tight knit like if next man up kind of just fight mentality. Even Dean, even Pat, which is funny because the mean Dean kind of came out of nowhere. He's like I'm like the nicest dude, bro, and
I,
it's and it's
I,
it's
I
hilarious
had
because
talked to
he is.
him. I had
He's the
talked to him
nicest guy.
offline, and he is. With the few times that I've talked to him, damn near every sentence ends with "God bless" and
No, but
everything.
God bless,
He's
bro. Yeah,
he's a
man.
good all around. But
Then he'll wave in your
the
face and
mean part,
he'll wave in your face and just run it down your throat.
the mean part comes with the play on the field, not so much the personality, but it's just,
That's the game,
oh,
man.
that's a mean,
No, I
that's
know. That's
just.
why it's funny.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's one of those monikers that, and you like always giving nicknames to guys
oh
who are
yeah.
almost the complete opposite of what it is that you give them. But again, you guys have had a fun ride so far, and we just had Big Rob, and he was saying it himself, like he wants to see you guys. He sees what you guys potentially could do, not just this season, but in the near future. And what the league is kind of turning into is that changing of the guard in a way of it's not the same as it was 5 years ago, even 10 years ago.
Hmm.
It's turning into something now where everybody in the league, there's a certain style that comes. It's not so much of a copycat league because again, everyone wants to kind of differentiate themselves in certain ways when it comes to this league. You got you guys and the animals who, you know, never give up. We're going to keep fighting no matter what. We're just going to keep
No,
beating your
absolutely.
ass until it hits 0-0-0 on the board. Then you got the BIC, who's a little bit more finesse, but the high scoring. But when you come on defense and stuff, they're ready to hit you in the mouth too.
Mm-hmm.
You got the U, who is a veteran team who has been in this league since the Town Beef days, and they know how to play the game. It's the psychological aspects, knowing where things go, how things get run. Then you go on the West Coast, you got the Insomniacs, who have depth top to bottom. Every single one of them are I believe, are coaches.
Yeah.
So they have that IQ mindset of, okay, this is happening, we need to make the adjustment to go here, we need to do this, we need to, all right, this isn't working. There's a meticulous way that they kind of look at things, the way they look at film. I've talked to Scooter. That dude's mind is straight quarterback mode. Just in 10 seconds knows where everybody's going at all times. It's, and then it's just when you keep going down the line of all these teams, there's certain styles, there's certain ways of doing things, but at the end of the day, when it comes all together and it takes on each other every Sunday, that's why I say that this league is the most entertaining, football league out there, at least for the spring, because of the fact that you have teams that have different identities who make it work in a sense. That's Rob says it, boxing, like the styles make fights.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really a team that's the same as another team.
Yeah.
There's similarities, but there's more differences than there are, and it's a matter of how you adjust to each team. So when you guys are watching film, obviously you have guys that have football background, the military aspect. I mean, the discipline behind that all in itself, shows,
Still
especially in the
degenerates.
game.
Still
Of
degenerates. Everybody knows. Don't
degenerates for
worry.
sure. Like that.
Don't.
That there's no
We're just
there's
now.
no
Now the
getting around the
military guys are just like,
degeneracy
yeah.
of
Why are we
all
so
that.
early?
Yeah, but there is a discipline, there is a certain outlook on certain things, when you've come from that background. So that's just another style that
Personnel, man.
other teams don't have. So it's another it's just another aspect of the game that's just, fun to watch. So when you guys are, watching film and looking at the opponents that you guys have, and then like what's y'all's mindset? Obviously, you're studying, but it, is there a different way that you guys look at things compared to the regular team here?
I mean, I can't. I can only speak from experience. I don't know what the other teams. You know what I mean? I only know from what I've seen and what I do with my own experience. But I feel like it's just personnel, man. Just packages, just breaking it down. Like we'll just watch it like a couple times a week. Just over and over. And the thing with us is like, we're the most critical of ourselves. Like and that's what I mean. Like it's a group of guys where we're in the chat and I'm like, okay, I could have done that better. Okay, I could and it's like, coach was like, oh, you had a great game. And I'm like, like I had one, but I could have had like three, I missed one, you know what I mean? It's just like, I had one sack, but I could have had more. And that's just our mental. And it's not like we're negative. We're just like, okay, this is what we can improve. You're never going to see us, we're going to talk our shit and have fun, but, behind closed doors, Dean, all of us, Ryan, of course, even dude, Ryan to the extreme, like Ryan is like so freaking, and it's funny because you got, he is hilarious but it's like, we're so okay, what did I do on this read? Okay, his tendency, boom. If he comes off this backside, like we're constantly throughout the week texting, communicating, where CJ's talking to us in the chat, we're all going through it together, looking at everything. Look, okay, what have I could have done on here? Okay, I ran block here. I did this here. Okay, let's come up here. Let's smack this guy here. Go here, and it's just that constant. Like I'm always critical of myself, dude. Like I hit a move and I freaking slipped on the turf. I'm like, that was like, and it's like that constant, like, okay, like learning tendencies. I'm looking at the tackle. I'm seeing how he kicks back. I'm seeing how he shoots his arms, how he does this, how the quarterback is, how he moves. If he steps up, is he gonna roll out? And that's from when practicing against Ryan so much is great because it's like he's so difficult to deal with, dude. Like it's just so it's like everything. Like I obviously it's defense and stuff like that, but I live to just I want to hunt the quarterback. Like, that's all I care about, dude. I just want to chase. Like, that's like, I don't, a lot of people want to score touchdowns. I don't give a fuck. Like, I want to hit that guy. I don't care. Like, if it happens, great, but I want to fucking hit that guy. It's like
Just
Deacon
that.
Jones. Yeah, like Deacon
I was
Jones.
just about to say Deacon Jones
That's what I
mentality.
love,
Just
man.
kill,
Like, I
kill,
want to
kill.
fucking hit that dude right there. It's like, it's a sack. You're sacking a city. And it's funny because, like, Ryan's a quarterback, and it's just like every time we're in practice, he's like, we're like, son of a bitch, because we're just trying to kill each other. Like, that's all it is.
I mean, even in practice, being able to go, almost 100, 110%.
Oh, dude, we're the worst. Even Butler, our other quarterback, was like, hey, dude, when you jump, can you, like, jump in the air and not put your chest into my ribs? And I was like, yeah, And, like, we fuck with each other. Like, every time I hit Butler, from, like, Max Crosby, I'm like, little ass boy. And we're just, like, just constantly, like, just fucking talking shit. And it's just, like, so it's like our quarterbacks are not, nobody's going to be scared of anybody because we're just punching each other all day in practice for like a year. It's just like, so it's fun. We like going out there. We're going to talk. Ryan's hilarious. They're going to talk to Ryan and they're going to talk to us just because he's white. So it's so funny. And then they're like, he can't throw. And it's like, okay, all right, watch this,
Well, yeah. He can't throw. Okay. He can throw without looking. That's how he can
he
throw.
can throw. And that's the thing. People think he wants to scramble so much, but he actually, like, I compare Ryan to Josh Allen. That's like that Ryan, he can and he'll lower his shoulder, but Ryan wants to sling it. And he can and he will. It's just funny because they're like, oh, rugby. I'm like, no, bro, he can throw it.
I mean, sometimes the best kept secret, keep thinking I can't throw.
I mean, I think everybody should know at this point that Ryan can throw. If that's still a question, then I'll pray for you guys. God bless you. It's all good.
People haven't been paying attention enough to if that's what the narrative still is. I doubt it. But
more power to him. More power to him, man.
But before we get you out of here and let you go and stuff like that, the rest of the season.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And like we told everybody else, the door's always open.
We got some
anybody wants to be able to.
We'll start bugging you now. We got some boys. They're already trolling me in the chat. I was like, they're just.
I was seeing it. I was seeing it in the comments and stuff. I'm like, damn, they're really. Oh, they're teammates. Okay,
that's how we talk. Yeah, fucking Corby. I hope he's watching right now. He's like, I even made fun of myself. They put in the group chat. I'm like, man, they just letting anybody come on here, man. Like, that's what we do.
I mean, but hey, it's the banter. It brings camaraderie.
That's what
there's a lot of stuff to it. Like, that's just nobody's taking it personal. Nobody's getting too serious about it.
We're too crazy for that.
Yeah, so it's just it's one of those things. Like when you see that, especially myself outside looking in and being part of teams like that before, like you know that it's just going to do nothing but to help grow the team for the better. So preparations, and this was one thing that I've asked, because at least in my head, the goal for this league, or at least one of the goals out of many, are being able to at one point get the interconference play stuff going, having West taking on the East, vice versa, going from one coast to another. But it's one thing, at least for the East, for the West, I know it's not big of a problem because I've seen them travel to the East and they travel well every time. Derek Duncan has been, absolutely, incredible for the entire division, especially when it comes to, that championship last year. A lot of people are like, oh man, no, they showed up, full squad.
They're deep, man. They got a lot of guys. Yeah.
They're a deep, squad, and they travel very well. But it's one thing with at least the East, certain teams and certain travel, destinations and stuff. There seems to be at least a little bit of an issue having full squad type of stuff there. When you look at this team, if you guys have to travel really anywhere, whether it's the West, whether it's going back to Ohio or anywhere else that it is that you guys have got to go, Do you guys have that or the plans and stuff like that in place to
Oh
be
yeah,
able
man.
to?
Like we're
We
already
know
going.
we're not going to have a problem with people showing
Yeah,
up.
we're already going to Cincinnati, so we're gonna, we already have everything, and that's about 9 hours,
Yep.
I mean, well, maybe a little less for them because I'm in like Fairfax, which is like 45, 30 minutes outside of DC. A lot of them are kind of further in Virginia. I just happen to live here, but it's about probably 8 hours or 7, and there's not. We'll be there, you know what I mean, and we're a new team too, and I didn't travel that much last year at all, so it says a lot that we're already going to Cincinnati and stuff like that, and we got a lot of plans and to build our own stuff here in Virginia, but yeah, anybody can get the smoke, man. I mean, like we want to play West Coast teams. We've been like please, man. We would shit. I'm from Vegas. Any excuse to go to Vegas, stop it. The Heathens, it's in the names, bro. We'll have to drag somebody out of the fucking crap stable to get them on the D line. Like we got you don't want to let us loose into Vegas for a week, man. We got families and stuff. You don't need these guys getting in trouble, man. You don't need guys getting in trouble, bro. What do you? Come on, JP. Come on, JP.
I'm
I'm
just
just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I
No,
just try to get it figured out because
no,
again
we'd love to,
that's
man.
something that everybody or that wants to happen at some point because it's a
It should
further
happen, man, because it's
proving
like
point.
I want to see the Sick With It play some of these teams out here and back and forth. Like I mean, and I think I agree with you 1,000%. Like the A7 business model of like that 7-7 run and shoot big, like it can, and like I don't, man, let me call somebody. Like we got to get more like the social media and the characters and all the people and stuff like that. Get some mics on some people, dude. Like get some.
Mic'd up moments would be
Yeah,
great.
get some last chance you, because guys are entertained. Like there's a lot of guys in this. There's some high level football. Like there's some very talented, like like you see David Ryan, and I'm newer too, but like some of the guys from Patterson and just in general, like these guys can play football, man. Like it's not like. And it's entertaining and it's fast, and why is it, you know what I mean? Like we should be traveling and playing all that because it would be cool to see like the competition and to see all that, and competition just breeds more you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
I'm all for it, man. I think that'd be great. I wish there was I feel like there should be teams in Texas or California, because it's like even Arizona, man, because I finished out high school in Arizona, and everybody plays football out there. People don't like
Stay tuned on that because I mean we're especially us. We're out here in Sacramento. We're advocating big to get a Northern California division out here,
Oh man,
and
yeah,
I
there's a
mean
lot of guys
not so
in the
much
area
as
too.
Southern California because I've always said it that Southern California market when it comes to football is it's not like Northern California, but Texas, that's another market that I looked at going, especially the way the people out there look at the game of football. It's a whole nother
I got some
beast.
boys, man. I got some
Yeah,
guys I went to school with. I think one of
it,
them already even commented on the Instagram. Those guys can play some football, man. Like they're not,
it's a whole
even with
different beast
California
out
too, and
there.
like the Bay Area. Like a lot of the Polynesian guys I played with are from out there. Like they're not. Yeah, bro. They'll put their hand in the dirt. They don't care about no pads. Because in California, the California junior college system is ran by the state. So we're not allowed to have pads up until like July.
Yeah,
And it's supposed to be, we're out there with shorts and kind of like an A7 game and practice all spring, all summer, and we're supposed to be wrapping up, but it's
right.
JUCO, like these guys. I'm sure you've seen Last Chance. Like we're trying to kill each other,
Yeah,
so it's the same mentality. It's the same, essentially the same thing, other than you just change it from 11 to 7, which is different, obviously. But that physicality, or just playing football with no pads, like essentially, California is. Texas is different because their colleges, their junior colleges are also ran, and obviously Texas is Texas. California is a lot more liberal and stuff like that. As far as like, hey, you guys shouldn't be wearing.
the safety
Texas, they
concerns
don't
and
care.
all
They
that.
don't care,
Yeah,
bro. They don't give a shit. They're like,
yeah. No, Texas is just like it's
freedom,
football.
baby.
Oh, we're going 110% no matter what.
Football,
That's
baby. It's
what we're
freedom.
doing.
It's Texas.
It's that type of sport that especially at church on Sundays, the pastors are talking about.
Yeah,
That's
man.
just
Yeah,
how it is.
they don't care, dude. So it's like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
entertaining to see for sure. And I would love that, man. I would love. There's got to be more. The idea is great, honestly. I'm always saying how just the 7-on-7 no pad, because it's even like. I mean, I'm pretty young, but I remember like the arena football game in the
Yep.
2000s, like on that, and it's like what it's entertaining, man. Like there's
Yeah.
that shorter field, airing it out, dudes just getting freaking clothesline. Like you gotta.
It's a whole different type of game,
That's
and
why
this
I
one,
hope we get more like streaming and stuff too. You know,
oh yeah,
everybody can see all the games
no,
because they're
it,
entertaining, man.
it'll happen. I mean,
Oh
again,
yeah,
there's things that need to obviously take place and whole different avenues of it, but at some point it'll happen, and we'll be here to be able to cover it.
that'd be
Jake,
great. Yeah,
appreciate you for coming on, sir, giving up some of your time to come on the show and talk a little ball and talk a little shit at the same time. We love it. Once again, doors always open, and
thanks,
next
man.
time, whether it's during this season, off season, whether or whatever it is, again, doors always open, sir. Feel free
Yeah.
to
Got me,
reach out,
man.
and we can see
Yeah,
what
of
we can make
course.
it happen.
Yeah, man. God bless, man. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate you guys. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Absolutely appreciate you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen of the Jaffo Army, Jake Olson of the Virginia Heathens. So, yeah, it's look, we talk about this all the time. EJ's having a little bit of trouble. Mad Sticks have been DJing all morning and stuff like that. So I'm riding a little bit solo, at least for the last, few minutes or whatever of the show. But talking with Big Rob, talking with Jake, there's a lot of things, and talking with everybody, really, the different perspectives for this league, the different things that can be done, um, that should be done, and the mindset of everything. It's just this league is going somewhere, and again, top to bottom, everybody can get on the same page if everybody can have that accountability, being able to really see and know what it is that's going on with this league, instead of it just being something that everybody does, for 7 to 10 weeks, out of the summer or out of the spring. Being able to really look at what this product is and being able to grow it, because 11 years as the A7FL plus more as the Town Beef Days, 15 years plus that this league has been around, it should be further. And again, there's things that go on, but whether it's, getting more sponsors, but the streaming service wise, like everything that's being on Tubi, being on Stadium, the Zone, Fox Soul, obviously the YouTube channel, being, you can go to a7fl.com/watch, and you'll be able to see all the different platforms that the league is being broadcast on, or on Fox Houston. That's how I kind of figure, Texas is going to be coming up with a division pretty soon, because, you know, they're watching out there. And, social medias and stuff, there's an itch for it to be out there. There's an itch for it to be in a lot of places. So this league can really definitely grow into something spectacular, and can be a whole hell of a lot more than just a couple of viral clips, for the season. Because again, there's nobody who's going to be able to tell me that A7FL is not more entertaining than Cornhole, or not more entertaining than a lot of the other shit that gets played on ESPN and gets covered by SportsCenter. A lot of the shit that gets covered by SportsCenter is like, why is this even here? Why is this even like a thing? There should be more broadcasting of the A7. And again, it's a top to bottom effort. Not just the ownership, not just coaches, not just the board of directors, CEO, or anything like that. It comes from the players too. Players being able to, keep it about football. There's obviously the shit talking, the banter, and everything back and forth. But as soon as you go to the personal side of it, that's where gets fucked up. That's where things get, out of hand. That's where game days, you see all the bad shit that happens. Well, that's because people can't keep their emotions in check. That's because people aren't holding each other accountable. Instead of being able to pull your teammate out and be able to do, hey, what the fuck are you doing? They're backing up the bullshit. So it's one of those things, and again, people get mad at it all they want to, but the facts are the facts. These are what people are looking for. This is what investors and stuff are looking for. Are they going to be able to spend their hard-earned money, millions of dollars, thousands of dollars, whatever it may be? Are they willing to put that money down for a league that is either having fights or having just the different bullshit that goes around? It's not going to happen again unless everybody comes together to be able to hold each other accountable. And that's shit talk. Again, we're not here to put anybody down, getting personal, getting all of this. Like, keep it about football and keep the mindset about growing the league into what it possibly can be. We've talked about it on this show before. Flag football, that's fun. But the A7FL in the Olympics, I feel would garner a whole hell of a lot more attention than flag football would. Internationally, I think people would resonate with this league more than flag football. And again, there's no disrespect or anything towards flag football guys or anybody who plays flag football. But we got to talk about, like, when it comes to the entertainment factor of it, this league has it all. But it's just a matter of what everybody's going to be able to do with that. We have something here. Let's nurture it and let's grow it into something that could be great. So appreciate everybody for hanging out with us on this Friday night. Everybody have a great weekend. We got a good roundup of games coming this weekend. Starting it off, you've got the Vegas Hunters taking on the Gold. You got the BIC traveling to Maryland to take on the Buzz. You got the Crush taking on the Octane again. This time the Octane being the home team. Then you got the Insomniacs taking on the Stealth. You've got the Renegades then taking on the Watchmen. So there's only 5 games this week, but every game counts and every game is going to mean something. Look for even more entertainment, especially with like the Renegades and the Watchmen. That's going to be a hell of a game to be able to watch. So stay tuned for that. And everybody stay safe this weekend. Everybody who's playing on Sunday, keep busting your asses. And quick thing. We've got the plays of the week. We've got all that stuff that we put out. We've got the touchdown montages, everything like that. Look, I'm just going to say this. You keep balling out, eventually you will get featured. I've got some people, there's 2 ways that people look at it. How can I get featured? And why aren't I getting featured? The how can I get featured? I'm more than happy to let you know. Just keep balling out. I don't know where the balloons came from, but keep balling out. Keep having fun. Keep doing entertaining shit on the field. And eventually you'll get featured. But the other ones of why aren't we getting recognized? I'm not going to answer you. I'm not going to talk back. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, my bad. I guess I'll go. No, fuck that. If anything, that's going to make me not want to showcase what y'all have. So miss me with the bullshit of always like being, thirsty for the attention and all this other shit. You get what you get. As much shit that we have to watch and deal with on a regular basis, we may miss some things. That doesn't mean what you did wasn't impressive. Just means that we didn't get it. Or it means something was a little bit better. At least in our eyes. Now again, keep balling out. If you want to ask how, we'll tell you how. Keep balling out. Keep being entertaining. But don't get into the DMs and everything. Oh, why aren't we getting the recognition? Why aren't we getting... I had multiple people coming up asking, why didn't this person get recognized? Why didn't... Stop. This thirst for attention bullshit, you're grown-ass men. Relax. You'll get featured when you get featured. If you don't, then it wasn't good enough to be on. Sorry. Don't like it? Hey, do better. Do something more entertaining. Do something that we can't miss. And then maybe you'll be featured. But other than that, it just, again, you're grown-ass men. Shouldn't be asking other grown-ass men to fucking, oh, you need to feature me. We need to get our respect. You'll get your respect. When we talk about it, we give the respect and everything when it comes. But I'm not going to be responding to childish shit. Just saying. You want to know how? I can tell you how, but you're not going to demand shit out of me. So just keep that in mind. You get featured when you get featured. Keep balling out. Keep it entertaining. Keep it about football. And you'll be on. Outside of that, just don't talk to me. I don't have time to deal with the child shit. We're all grown. We're all trying to do what we can for this league. This thirst for attention type bullshit. Relax. You're too damn grown for that shit. Man the fuck up. But again, appreciate everybody for being with us on this Friday. Appreciate Big Rob. Appreciate Jake Olson. Hopefully get more guests and stuff like that as the weeks and stuff like that progress. Stay tuned for everything JAFFOs TV, JAFFOs.com. Go get your merch. We've got a plethora of shit on there. Get your 420 merch before 420 gets here. We've got A7FL inspired gear, the family stuff, between the collaboration gear with us and the Mizzle and Dub show, and a lot more things that are going to be coming out from that. So one big way to be able to support the show is, you see it right there in the headline, go buy merch at JAFFOSTV.com. And then once again, for all of the social medias, JAFFOs TV, that's pretty much everywhere we go other than X. We're just Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and then here on YouTube and on the Flip app. So you want to stay tuned, everything A7FL and then some. JAFFOs TV, the most diverse channel with the most shit on it. We've got sports, we've got nerd shit with D&D, we've got music, we've got everything that you could possibly get, and we're still trying to expand on more. So stay tuned with everything with JAFFOs TV. The growth has been awesome. The responses and everything that we've gotten has been awesome. We appreciate everybody who's been along with us for this ride, and it's going to continue to get better. So appreciate you guys. For myself, JP, for EJ, for Mizzle, for Dub, for the greatest DJ on the planet, Mr. DJ Mad Sticks. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Love each other. Take care of each other. Appreciate y'all. Deuces.